success. It's a word we hear all the time. We all want it, right? But let's face it, very few actually achieve it. The numbers don't lie. 2% of people succeed. The rest, 98%, never reach their full potential. So why is that? Why do so few make it while the vast majority struggle, get stuck, or simply give up? The first thing you need to understand is that success is not just about luck, timing, or external circumstances. It's not about waiting for the perfect opportunity. The 2% who succeed, they do so because they've mastered a few fundamental principles that most people overlook. Today, I'm going to show you why most people never make it, and more importantly, how you can join that 2%. One of the most powerful reasons why the 2% succeed is personal discipline. Discipline is something that goes beyond motivation. Motivation comes and goes. You might feel motivated one day, and then the next, you can't get out of bed. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't depend on your feelings. It's the ability to stay focused, to take action even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing what you need to do, regardless of the emotions you're dealing with. Think about it for a moment. Every day you wake up, you make decisions. The small decisions you make over time shape your life. The way you spend your time, the way you treat your body, the way you think about yourself, all of these things are a result of the discipline you've developed. Or in many cases, the lack of it. You see, most people let life control them. They let distractions take over. They let their environment dictate their choices. But the 2%, they take responsibility for their lives. They create their own environment. They master their daily habits. They know that success doesn't happen overnight, and that real growth requires consistent, focused effort over a long period of time. In Fates, Prebex, and the Spree, and as great as in Setapi. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not easy. Life will throw obstacles in your path. You'll face setbacks. You'll have days where nothing goes right, where you feel like throwing in the towel. But the 2% don't quit when things get hard. They don't let failure stop them. They use failure as a stepping stone, as a lesson. They know that every time they fail, they learn something valuable that will bring them closer to their goals. Take a look around. You'll notice that the people who struggle the most are the ones who lack discipline. They start something and quit before they see any real progress. They get distracted by the next shiny object. They want instant results. But success doesn't work that way. The road to success is long. It's filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. That's the difference. Discipline is the ability to keep going even when things aren't perfect. It's about staying on track when no one's watching. The 2% who succeed understand that success is a marathon, not a sprint. They're not looking for a quick fix. They're committed to the long haul. But let's take a step back. Personal discipline doesn't just happen by accident. It's built over time. It's something you must actively cultivate in your life. So how do you develop this discipline? It starts with small daily actions. Every single day, you need to choose the hard path. You need to decide to do what others aren't willing to do. For example, instead of hitting snooze on your alarm and getting a few extra minutes of sleep, get up when the alarm rings. Start your day with energy, with purpose. Don't wait until you feel like it. Your feelings will always try to take the easy way out. But if you want to build discipline, you have to do the hard things when no one is watching. You have to create the habit of pushing through discomfort. And here's the thing, discipline doesn't just apply to your work or career. It's about your entire life. Your health, your relationships, your finances. Every area of your life requires discipline. The way you treat your body, the food you put in it, the way you spend your time, these are all choices that reflect your level of discipline. Success is not a one-time event. It's the result of countless small decisions, compounded over time. When you develop the discipline to make the right choices consistently, you build momentum. And once that momentum starts to build, there's no stopping you. But discipline is just one part of the equation. If you want to be part of that 2%, you need to understand the importance of your environment and who you surround yourself with. Your associations, the people you spend the most time with, will determine your success more than you realize. You might have heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's a reason for that. The people around you influence your mindset, your habits, and your behaviors. If you're constantly surrounded by negative, uninspired people who are content with mediocrity, it's going to be incredibly hard for you to rise above that. The Bijvonderd understand this principle. They know that in order to grow, they need to be around people who challenge them, people who inspire them to become better. They seek out mentors, role models, and like-minded individuals who push them to be their best. They don't waste their time with people who don't share their vision or who drag them down. So, take a look at the people around you. Are they helping you move toward your goals, or are they holding you back? Are they lifting you up, or are they pulling you down? If you want to succeed, you need to surround yourself with people who will elevate your thinking, who will push you to take action, who will support you through your challenges. The 2% know this, and that's why they intentionally seek out environments that nurture their growth. They know that their environment plays a massive role in their success. If they're going to thrive, they need to be around people who are also committed to growth, people who are on the same path, or even further along than they are. But there's one more key element that all successful people share: the drive for constant personal growth. The 2% are always learning. They're always seeking new knowledge, new skills, new ways to improve themselves. They know that knowledge is power, but more importantly, they understand that applied knowledge is what leads to success. They read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, and constantly challenge themselves to grow. Most people get comfortable. They think that once they reach a certain level, they can stop learning. But the 2% know that the moment you stop learning, you start declining. Success is a process, not a destination. And that process requires you to continually grow, evolve, and improve. The 2% who succeed do so because they take ownership of their lives. They don't blame their circumstances. They don't make excuses. They take full responsibility for their actions, their choices, and their outcomes. They understand that their future is in their hands, and they don't wait for someone else to create the life they want. If you want to join the 2%, you need to take responsibility for where you are right now. You need to own your mistakes and learn from them. You need to take control of your life and stop letting other people or circumstances dictate your future. The truth is, success isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's available to anyone who is willing to commit to personal discipline, choose the right environment, invest in personal growth, and take full responsibility for their life. Success is not about talent or intent. It's about consistency, persistence, and a relentless commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Now, the question is, are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to do what it takes to be part of that 2%? The choice is yours. The path is clear. All it takes is the courage to step up, do the work, and never stop moving forward. Success is waiting for you. All you have to do is show up. To continue on that journey, let's talk about something that holds so many people back: goals. I'm not just talking about writing down a wish list of things you want. I'm talking about the kind of goals that push you, challenge you, and force you to grow. Because when you have clear, defined goals, something incredible happens. You shift from being passive in your life to being active. You stop letting life happen to you, and instead, you start happening to life. Think about the people you know who are stuck. They've got no clear direction, no plan. They might have some ideas about what they want, but they haven't set a concrete goal in years. They wake up each day just trying to get through it, rather than making meaningful progress. They don't have that fire, that purpose, that drive that comes with having a specific target to aim for. And you see, that's where the majority fall short. The 2%, on the other hand, understand that goals are the compass that guide them. Without a goal, you're like a ship drifting aimlessly in the ocean. No clear direction, no real purpose. It's easy to get lost. But with a goal, you have a destination. You know where you're headed. You know what's important, and every decision you make is filtered through that goal. The billionaires who succeed are laser focused on their objectives. They don't let distractions or obstacles deter them because their goals are crystal clear. And it's not just about setting any goal, it's about setting the right goal. A goal that excites you, that scares you a little, that makes you feel like you're stretching yourself. That's how you know it's the right goal for you. If your goal doesn't make you feel a bit uncomfortable, it's probably not big enough. Success requires you to step out of your comfort zone, and your goals need to reflect that. Now, here's something critical to understand. Achieving your goals doesn't happen overnight. It's not some magical event where you wake up one day and find yourself at the finish line. No. Success is about consistent action, day after day, week after week, year after year. The 2% get this. They know that success doesn't come quickly. It's the small, seemingly insignificant actions they take every single day that add up to massive success over time. They have patience. They're willing to stay the course, no matter how long it takes. They don't get discouraged when things aren't happening fast enough. They know that the key is consistency. They know that they need to keep moving forward, even when the road seems long and hard. But here's the key. They also know how to adjust. When the path gets tough, when things aren't going the way they planned, the 2% don't quit. They don't sit around complaining about how unfair life is. They adjust. They find new ways to move forward. They stay flexible and keep their eyes on the prize. And that's where most people fail. They give up too soon. When the first obstacle comes up, they throw in the towel. But the 2% keep going, even when they face challenges. They see every obstacle as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to improve. The second part of setting goals is being relentless about pursuing them. It's about taking full responsibility for your progress. When you set a goal, it's your responsibility to make it happen. Don't rely on luck or wait for someone to give you permission to succeed. You own your success. The 2% don't wait for things to happen. They create their own opportunities. They make things happen through consistent action and by staying committed to their goals, even when things get tough. What about the people who don't succeed? The ones who get lost in the 98%? They often fail because they don't take full ownership of their goals. They look outside of themselves for reasons why things aren't working. They make excuses. But the truth is, excuses don't get results. Results come from taking responsibility, from looking at the challenges you face and saying, this is my problem to solve. Another key factor that separates the 2% from everyone else is the way they view failure. Failure is part of the process. It's not something to fear, not something to run from. It's simply a feedback mechanism. When you fail, it's an opportunity to learn what doesn't work and adjust accordingly. The 2% embrace failure as part of their journey. They don't take it personally. They don't let it discourage them. They know that failure is just another step toward success. It's a sign that they're pushing their limits, and that's exactly where growth happens. The vast majority of people, however, are terrified of failure. They take it personally. They let it crush their confidence. But this fear of failure holds them back from ever trying. They give up too soon. They allow themselves to get sidetracked by setbacks and disappointments. The 2% don't let that happen. They see each failure as an opportunity to refine their approach, to get better, and to get closer to their goals. One of the biggest reasons why most people never achieve anything meaningful in their lives is that they don't take responsibility for their actions. They wait for someone else to fix their problems. They wait for the perfect opportunity to come along. They wait for a sign. But that's not how the 2% think. They know that the moment you take full responsibility for your life, you gain control over it. You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop blaming the economy, the government, your upbringing, or anything else for where you are today. The 2% realize that they are the ones who shape their future. They know that the power to change their life is in their hands. And when they take ownership of their life and their goals, they start making decisions based on what they want to create, not based on what life throws at them. They take action, they make plans, and they follow through. And over time, that consistent, disciplined action leads them to success. If you want to join that 2%, if you want to achieve the success that most people only dream of, you need to take full responsibility for your life. You need to set clear, compelling goals and pursue them with unwavering determination. And most importantly, you need to embrace the challenges, the failures, and the hard work that come with the journey. Because the truth is this: success isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's available to anyone who is willing to take responsibility for their actions, set clear goals, and pursue them with relentless discipline and focus. The 2% didn't get to where they are by waiting for opportunities to fall in their lap. They created those opportunities through hard work, commitment, and the willingness to do what it takes. You can do the same. The choice is yours. Are you willing to take control of your future? Are you willing to set bold goals, take full responsibility, and never give up? The 2% are the ones who take action. They are the ones who step up when everyone else steps back. Will you be one of them? Now, let's talk about one of the most critical factors that sets the 2% apart from the rest: their commitment to continuous personal growth and development. This is something that many people overlook, but it is absolutely essential if you want to succeed. The 2% don't just settle for what they know today. They are constantly pushing themselves to learn more, grow more, and become more. They don't stop until they're better than they were yesterday. Why is this so important? Because the world is constantly changing. Opportunities shift, markets evolve, and the pace of life is faster than ever. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. This isn't just about professional skills or technical knowledge. It's about developing yourself as a person, expanding your mindset, and refining your character. The 2% understand that success is not a destination, it's a process. It's the result of continuous improvement. They know that the person they are today is not the person they need to be in order to achieve the things they want. And so they are relentless in their pursuit of growth. They invest in themselves, constantly learning new skills, expanding their knowledge, and developing the traits that will make them better. This commitment to growth comes in many forms. It might be reading books, listening to podcasts, taking courses, or surrounding themselves with people who challenge them. The 2% are always looking for ways to get better. They know that personal growth is not optional. It's a non-negotiable part of their success. And this commitment to growth is something that most people simply don't have. The vast majority of people become complacent. They get comfortable with what they know. They stop learning because they think they've figured it all out. But here's the truth: there is always more to learn. There is always room to grow. The moment you stop growing is the moment you start stagnating, and stagnation is the enemy of success. The 2% know this. That's why they make it a priority to continually improve, no matter how successful they become. When you focus on personal growth, something amazing happens. You begin to change the way you see the world. Your perspective shifts. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. You stop complaining about your circumstances and start taking responsibility for changing them. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and instead, you create the perfect moment by taking action and making progress. The truth is, success is not about having the right circumstances. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever life throws at you. It's about developing the mental toughness, resilience, and emotional intelligence to stay the course, no matter what. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday, every single day. And this doesn't happen by accident. It takes effort. It takes a commitment to growth that most people aren't willing to make. But the 2% are. They are committed to learning, to improving, and to becoming the best version of themselves. That's why they succeed. But personal growth isn't just about adding knowledge. It's a little about changing the way you think. The 2% have a mindset that is vastly different from the rest. They think bigger, act bolder, and believe in themselves in ways that most people don't. They don't let fear or doubt control them. They don't let failures define them. They view setbacks as stepping stones, not as reasons to quit. The reason the 2% are so successful is because they have an unshakable belief in their ability to learn and adapt. They know that they can figure things out, no matter how difficult or complex that situation may seem. They embrace challenges because they know that facing challenges is what makes them stronger. So how do you develop this kind of mindset? It starts by challenging your current beliefs. Ask yourself, what's holding me back? What am I afraid of? What limiting beliefs do I hold that are keeping me from moving forward? The 2% are constantly working to break through their own mental barriers. They understand that the mind is powerful, but only if you learn to use it to your advantage. One of the most important shifts in thinking that the 2% embraces the idea that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Most people are afraid of failure. They avoid it at all costs, thinking that if they fail, they're not good enough. But the 2% see failure differently. They see it as a necessary part of the process. Failure is feedback. It's a lesson. It's how you grow. When you shift your perspective and start viewing failure as an opportunity to learn, you become unstoppable. You stop letting fear hold you back. You stop letting failure define you. And you start moving toward your goals with confidence and clarity, knowing that every step, even the failures, is getting you closer to where you want to be. This shift in thinking leads to the final piece of the dot puzzle, the importance of taking full responsibility for your life. If you want to join the 2%, you need to stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and stop waiting for things to get better. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, you regain control over it. The 2% understand that they are the creators of their own success. They take ownership of their actions, their choices, and their results. They don't blame the economy, the government, or anyone else for where they are. They don't wait for the perfect circumstances or a lucky break. They make things happen through sheer effort, focus, and determination. When you take full responsibility for your life, you stop being a victim. You stop making excuses for why things aren't working out. You stop blaming others for your failures. Instead, you take control. You say, I am responsible for my life, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it what I want it to be. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that things will always go according to plan. Challenges will come, obstacles will arise, but when you take responsibility, You don't shy away from those challenges. You face them head on. You don't let them defeat you. You learn from them and keep moving forward. If you want to join the 2%, you need to start taking full responsibility for your life. Stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The moment you take ownership of your life is the moment everything changes. You stop waiting for things to happen and you start making things happen. It all boils down to this. Success is not about luck. It's not about being in the right place at the right time. It's about being the right person. It's about developing the mindset, the habits, and the discipline that will allow you to overcome any obstacle and achieve your goals. It's about taking full responsibility for your life and doing the work that others are unwilling to do. The 2% who succeed know this. They know that success is earned, not given. They know that if they want to achieve something extraordinary, they must first become extraordinary. They take personal growth seriously. They set clear goals, commit to daily discipline, embrace failure as part of the process, and take full responsibility for their lives. And that's why they succeed. The question is, are you ready to make that commitment? Are you ready to stop making excuses, to stop waiting for things to get better, and start taking action toward the life you want? The choice is yours. Success is there for the taking, but it's up to you to grab it. Will you rise to the challenge, or will you let life pass you by? The path to success is clear, and it starts with one decision: to take control of your life, your goals, and your future. The 2% have made that decision. Now, it's your turn. When we talk about success, we can't ignore one of the most powerful driving forces behind the 2%, the relentless pursuit of ownership. Ownership, not just in terms of property or business, but ownership of your thoughts, your actions, and most importantly, your life. The 2% who succeed take full responsibility for everything that happens in their lives. They don't blame their circumstances, they don't blame other people, and they certainly don't make excuses. They own every part of their journey, whether it's the successes or the failures. This is one of the biggest differences between those who succeed and those who don't mindset. The majority of people, the 98%, are constantly looking for someone or something else to blame. If only my boss was more supportive, or if only I had a better education, or if only the economy was stronger. They spend so much time looking for reasons why things are hard that they miss the truth. The key to success is not in waiting for conditions to improve. The key is taking ownership of your life right now, as it is. The 2% know that everything they experience, every outcome they create, is a direct result of the decisions they've made. They know that the power to change their life is in their hands. They don't wait for things to get better, they make them better. They take ownership of their results. When they succeed, they own it. When they fail, they own it. They don't make excuses or try to shift the blame. They analyze the situation, learn from it, and move forward. This idea of ownership is crucial. When you take full ownership of your life, you stop being a passive participant. You stop waiting for things to happen to you. Instead, you begin to create the conditions for success. You become proactive, not reactive. You stop blaming your circumstances for why you aren't where you want to be. Instead, you take responsibility for your actions, your habits, and your choices, and you adjust. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself complaining about your situation? If only I had more time, or if I had more money, or if I had more support, things would be different. The truth is, every single person on this planet has obstacles, challenges, and disadvantages. There's no one who has it all figured out, but the 2% succeed because they choose to take ownership of what they can control instead of focusing on what they can't. Taking ownership doesn't mean everything will be easy. It doesn't mean that you won't face challenges. But it does mean that you don't let those challenges define you. You learn from them. You use them as stepping stones. The 2% don't make excuses for their failures. They embrace them. They know that failure is simply a lesson, a guide, showing them the way forward. Every setback is an opportunity to grow, to refine their approach, and to come back stronger. Let's talk about your mindset for a moment. The way you see the world, the way you view obstacles, and the way you respond to life's challenges will directly determine how far you go. Well, the 2% don't have some kind of magical superpower. They don't have an easy ride. They simply have a mindset that is focused on growth, learning, and ownership. They take full responsibility for their results, and they make the most of every opportunity. The question is, are you ready to adopt that mindset? Are you willing to take full responsibility for your life, your choices, and your future? Because that's what it takes. That's what sets the 2% apart from the 98%. They've learned that success is not about external circumstances, it's about internal commitment. It's about saying, I am responsible for the life I create, and I'm going to make it happen. Taking ownership means showing up, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, frustrated, or discouraged. It means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It means staying disciplined, staying focused, and staying committed to your goals, no matter what obstacles come your way. The 2% know that if they want to succeed, they have to keep showing up every single day. Success doesn't happen in bursts. It's the result of consistent action, day after day, week after week, month after month. When you take ownership of your goals in your life, you begin to shift your thinking. You stop making excuses for why things aren't working, and you start finding solutions. You begin to ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? What can I learn from this setback? How can I improve? Instead of blaming others, you look inward. Inward. You take responsibility, and that responsibility becomes the key to your growth. But let's be clear, taking ownership doesn't mean you have to do everything by yourself. The 2% understand the importance of mentorship, support, and collaboration. They know that no one succeeds alone. They surround themselves with people who will challenge them, encourage them, and help them grow. But at the end of the day, they know that the ultimate responsibility for their success lies with them. They are the ones who must take the first step. They are the ones who must put in the work. They are the ones who must stay the course, no matter what. Think about your own life for a moment. Where are you taking responsibility? Where are you letting excuses or blame hold you back? If you truly want to be part of the 2%, you need to start taking full ownership of everything in your life. Your time, your energy, your decisions, they're all within your control. And when you take control, everything changes. You stop feeling like a victim. You stop feeling like things are happening to you, and you start creating the life you want. The 2% also understand that taking ownership means they have to own their habits. The habits you form today will determine your future. The choices you make now will shape your tomorrow. The 2% know this. They make sure their daily habits align with their goals. They focus on doing the small things consistently that will lead to big results. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They create momentum through disciplined action. And this is a critical point. The most successful people don't rely on motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But discipline, consistency, and the power of good habits, those are what move the needle. The 2% aren't waiting for the perfect moment. They don't wait for everything to be just right. They take action even when conditions aren't ideal. They understand that progress is made in the messy middle, not in a perfect, idealized world. The difference between the 2% and the 98% lies in their commitment to do the work, regardless of how they feel. They show up every single day doing what needs to be done. No excuses. No waiting for the stars to align. They create their own success through action. And that action is driven by the ownership they take of their lives. The moment you realize that you are the creator of your own reality, the moment you stop blaming others or waiting for conditions to be perfect, is the moment everything changes. Success is no longer something that happens to you, it's something that you make happen. If you want to join the 2%, you need to commit to taking full ownership of your life. You need to own your actions, your habits, your choices, and your outcomes. Stop waiting for things to change. Change yourself, and the world around you will follow. Start today. Take responsibility for your life. The success you're looking for is within your control, and it all starts with you taking ownership. The final piece of the puzzle, the crucial ingredient that ties everything together, is the willingness to take consistent, bold action. This is where so many people falter. They have the dreams, the vision, the desire, but they fail to take the steps necessary to turn those dreams into reality. The 2% who succeed aren't just dreamers, they are doers. They understand that success is not about hoping for things to happen, it's about making them happen. They understand that the road to success is paved with consistent action, day in and day out. What separates the 2% from the rest is their relentless ability to act even when fear, doubt, or obstacles stand in their way. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait for the stars to align. They don't wait for permission. They take action right now with whatever they have, where they are. And that action, compounded over time, is what creates massive results. Now, let's be clear. Taking action isn't just about being busy. It's not about running around doing 1,000 things without focus. The 2% know that action has to be deliberate, purposeful, and aligned with their goals. They are intentional in their efforts. They don't waste time on distractions. They focus on what will move them forward, and they get it done. This is where many people get stuck. They confuse movement with progress. They stay busy doing things, but they're not really moving closer to their goals. They work hard, but they don't work smart. And without that alignment, no amount of hard work will get them anywhere. The 2% don't just act. They act strategically. They know that every step must be calculated and purposeful. But even when they encounter setbacks, the 2% don't stop. They don't give up. They understand that obstacles are a part of the journey. The road to success is never smooth. In fact, it's often filled with roadblocks, detours, and challenges. The 2% embrace these obstacles. They don't let them stop them. Instead, they learn from them, adapt, and keep moving forward. They know that failure is not a permanent condition. It's just part of the process. Failure doesn't define them. They use it as feedback to refine their approach and come back even stronger. What about you? When things don't go according to plan, do you quit? Do you get discouraged and give up? Or do you look for the lesson, adjust your approach, and keep going? The 2% are relentless. They understand that success is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from failure, adjusting course, and continuing to take action. They know that every failure brings them one step closer to success, as long as they don't quit. And here's another thing about taking action. It's not just about it's about doing the right things. Many people spend years working, but they're not getting the results they want because they're not working on the right things. They're busy but not productive. They're putting in the hours, but not the effort that will lead to the outcomes they desire. The 2% don't fall into that trap. They prioritize their actions. They focus on high-impact activities that move them closer to their goals. They don't waste time on things that won't move the needle. Whether it's in business, health, or personal development, they are constantly asking themselves, what is the one thing I can do today that will have the biggest impact on my success. They understand that not all actions are created equal. They know that some tasks will give them more leverage than others. By focusing on the things that matter most, they make the most of their time, energy, and resources. They don't spread themselves thin. They work smart, not just hard. The 98%, on the other hand, often get distracted by the noise. They work on low-priority tasks that don't move the needle. They waste time, energy, and effort on things that don't matter. And when things don't work out, they blame the world or they blame external factors. They never stop to ask themselves, am I focusing on the right things? Am I putting my energy into the activities that will actually get me closer to my goals? But the 2% do ask themselves that question every single day, and that's why they succeed. They are disciplined in their approach to action. They understand that success is not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about focusing on what truly matters and ignoring the distractions that only waste time and energy. This brings us to another key point. The 2% are not afraid to fail quickly and adjust. They take calculated risks, they put themselves out there, and when things don't go according to plan, they pivot. They don't waste time beating themselves up. They don't let fear or embarrassment stop them. They learn, adjust, and keep moving. The 2% don't see failure as the end. They see it as a stepping stone, an opportunity to course correct and keep going. How many times have you let fear stop you? How many times have you been afraid to take action because you weren't sure what would happen? The 2% feel the same fear, but they don't let it control them. They acknowledge it and then they take action anyway, because they know that fear is just a feeling, not a fact. And they refuse to let their feelings dictate their future. When you make the decision to act, regardless of how you feel, you step into your power. You stop letting fear, doubt, or uncertainty hold you back. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect because you know that perfect conditions don't exist. You create your own opportunities through the actions you take. Now, this doesn't mean that taking action is always easy. It doesn't mean that you won't face fear or resistance. But what it does mean is that you don't let those feelings stop you. You don't let the fear of failure or the fear of judgment keep you stuck. You take action anyway, because you know that action is what will lead to results. When you consistently take action, even in the face of fear or uncertainty, you build momentum. Momentum is powerful. It's the force that pushes you forward when things get tough. And once you have momentum, you become unstoppable. The 2% understand that momentum is the secret to sustained success. They keep moving forward, even when it feels like they're not making progress. They know that small, consistent actions compound over time. The journey to success doesn't happen overnight, but every small step, every bit of action you take, brings you closer to your goal. The 2% understand that the key to success is not in waiting for the right moment or the perfect circumstances. It's in taking consistent action day after day and adjusting course when necessary. So ask yourself, are you ready to take that action? Are you ready to step up, face your fears, and do what needs to be done to create the life you want? The 2% didn't wait for the perfect moment. They made the moment perfect by taking action. Success is not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about showing up, doing the work, and never giving up, no matter how hard it gets. You have the power to change your life, but it's up to you to take action. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the stars to align. The time to act is now. Step up, take ownership, and create the future you've always dreamed of. The 2% did it. You can too.